It may sound idealistic, but it describes a rapidly growing global trend that is fundamentally changing how people see both charity and business. You're here tonight because you have an interest in social enterprise. We're here tonight to convert that interest into commitment. This evening will feature snapshots of ventures being built and insights into how we can grow the sector. But first, I want to concentrate on why. Why we should invest in social enterprise and build a thriving, innovative, and sustainable sector in New Zealand. And simplistically, I think we have three basic drivers to consider. The third is about stepping up and catching up. Thank you. The 21st century is nothing if not an exciting time to be alive, but we face some fundamental and intractable challenges at the global, national, and local levels. Persistent problems like child poverty, educational underperformance, youth unemployment, violence, addiction, and local development are colliding with new long-term trends such as health conditions, rapidly changing demographics, environmental degradation, climate change, and growing inequality. Regardless of the amazing technological breakthroughs that we make and continue to make, these collisions are creating systemic, social, economic, and physical risks. This also comes at a time when the global financial crisis has led to a tightening of public resources and increased demand for social and economic regeneration. Undoubtedly, we need to adapt what we do in mainstream government and business, but we also need to find new ways of getting things done. Social enterprise represents such an opportunity. And while other countries are innovating and building coherent and increasingly performing sectors, here in New Zealand, although we're going about things in our own way, are in many respects getting left behind. To give you a sense of the commitment investments that other countries are taking, it's worth considering what's happened in the UK. The sector was kick-started in 2002 when the Department of Trade and Industry developed a whole-of-government strategy. This has led to a public investment of around £350 million and has now delivered a thriving sector of, at last count, more than 68,000 organisations contributing about £24 billion to the economy a year. Thank you. The People's Business, a report which was released just 2 weeks ago by Social Enterprise UK, finds a sector which has a startup rate 3 times more than mainstream business. It also presents a sector where women and ethnic minorities are flourishing as entrepreneurs and in leadership roles. Thank you, David. Closer to home, and not so far ahead, Australia has made multi-million-dollar investments in both the state and national level in the last few years. In many cases, these have been matched by investment from the corporate and philanthropic sector. In Victoria, the state government has worked with a private foundation to resource social traders, a social enterprise incubator to the tune of $2 million a year. Thank you. In June, another intermediary, Social Ventures Australia, raised $7.5 million for Australia's first social benefit bond, leveraging private capital to fund social enterprise, to deliver certified outcomes, to be purchased at low risk by government, to provide a financial return to investors. Thank you. And this is the exciting and critical point. Worldwide, there are now more than 250 impact investment funds established. While the majority of this capital is targeted towards emerging markets, we shouldn't ignore the trend that there is a new class of investor seeking new types of enterprise and after triple bottom line returns. This represents an opportunity to get private capital into delivering social and environmental change in a way which is just simply not possible with traditional charity and project-based models. Thank you. The second driver is demand. New Zealand already has vitality and activity in the sector, but it is fragmented and underserved. In a State of the Sector study produced earlier in the year by Department of Internal Affairs, 65% of the 400 plus organisations that responded, identifying themselves as social enterprises, stated a need for business and management support to speed their development. At Hikurangi, the number of inquiries that we are receiving from communities, organisations and entrepreneurs seeking guidance on their business models and enterprise strategies is tangibly and rapidly increasing. Thanks. The tertiary campuses are also too becoming a hotbed of social entrepreneurship and enterprise. This year's Spark business plan competition at the University of Auckland received about 450 applications. A third of these were ideas for social enterprise by their own definition. Again, this is consistent with trends overseas, where this energy is being harnessed into campus and inter-campus skills development programs and competitions. However, in Auckland, it wasn't clear to me whether the hybrid ideas had the same opportunity to be graduated into the ICE as the commercial proposals did. Thank you. The case of demand has also been borne out by sign-ups for this week's Social Enterprise Startup Weekend, taking place at the weekend. Admittedly, it builds on the success of previous events, but it has been more subscribed than any other startup weekend which has been run in the country to date. Something seems to be happening. And be it community enterprises, transitioning not-for-profits, or the wave of new entrepreneurship coming through, there is a groundswell of talent and commitment focused on changing our country and communities for the better. There's a clear and growing demand, and this talent deserves a coherent and enabling response. The last driver for me is the most compelling, and that is the opportunity for transformation. Why wouldn't we want more young entrepreneurs like these 3 undergraduates at Harvard who have created Socket, the world's smallest power plant that after 30 minutes returns 3 hours of light for children who live without access to energy to do their homework by? At our community levels, why wouldn't we want more small towns like this one in Germany who haven't grown frustrated by rising energy prices, establish their own generation capacity, and now export more than 4 million euros of energy a year, having also completely transformed local opportunities for skills development and employment? Why wouldn't we want more not-for-profits like Fair Share, a food rescue and distribution charity seeking to transition their business models, and admittedly only where possible, but going from being solely reliant on grants and donations to generating revenue streams as a result of capturing the value that they so obviously create? Why, at the corporate level, and because social enterprise doesn't always have to be small, why wouldn't we want our own versions of joint ventures like this one between Grameen and Danone, who have created a not-for-loss enterprise producing superfoods for families living in poverty? This venture is tackling exclusion and malnutrition at immediate scale and without losing a cent. The social enterprise sector is not just about startups, and it doesn't have to be on the fringe. It has the potential to be as diverse and dynamic as the mainstream business sector. In essence, it's simply the application of business skills in service to the noblest cause, improving the lives of others. The development of a social enterprise sector in New Zealand is not only desirable, it is inevitable. And with growing interest from all sectors, we seem to be reaching a tipping point. And I think this is demonstrated by the establishment of the Canterbury Trust Social Enterprise Fund, which happened in just a few weeks. So I believe the future of social enterprise in New Zealand is assured. But given the challenges we face and the proven opportunity which exists, we should surely seek to realise it sooner rather than later, intentionally and with commitment. Thank you.